Okay, next up is Eternal Dominion, book number 1, Restart, written by Bernstein. It is 254 pages, $4.99. It's available on Kindle Limited. And here's the author's description. Year 2286. Alec Bell has put in 20 years of work in the VR game Eternal Dominion, a full-dive fantasy VRMMO game that accounts for around 20% of the world's economy. He had risen to the top as a vice guild leader, and thanks to his work, his guild was steps away from truly becoming truly standing with the other top guilds. Only fate decided to rip it all away at the last moment. After his fall, Alex awakens to see his 18-year-old self looking back at him in the mirror. It's 2266, and Eternal Dominion is set to launch in a manner of hours. This time, things will be different. This time, he will succeed in life and make sure his friends and family go along for the ride, even if he has to drag them along to do so. Okay. I'll be honest, this story has been out for a little bit, a few months now, and I kept meaning to read, but I'll be honest, I wasn't really pulled into it from the cover. I thought the cover, I was like, oh, it's just like he's looking like you're wearing a football helmet on one side, and you got a dragon banner in the background. I'm like, there's nothing really like super engaging to me, so I kind of put it off until I had an empty spot in my reading schedule, and I saw that, oh, book 2 and book 3 are going out, and this book has really done pretty well in the reviews. Gave it a shot. I thought it was great. It turns out it's a regressor story. What that means is that somebody who is reliving their life with advanced knowledge of what's happening. That's in a nutshell what's happening. In this case, the main character is using that information to get an advantage in the just starting out MMO Eternal Dominion. And so he's literally there at day 1, and he gets a chance to do it all over and to be the best at pop. He knows all the tricks. He knows all the secrets that he's learned over 20 years of hard experience in this story. And he knows exactly how popular and important and life-changing this game can be on an economic scale for him and his family in the world. And so he's using all that foreknowledge for personal gain and profit, and to take down the people and guilds that had harmed him in the past, potentially. And I like it. I'm always a big sucker for a regressor story. I think the theme of like getting a chance to redo things resonates with a lot of people, and I enjoy when it's done smartly. When the main character is smart, I should say, about it. I've read plenty of regressor stories where the author or the main character just doesn't take advantage of his foreknowledge, and it just absolutely ignores a lot of the easy money-making schemes possible out there by anybody who has 2 brain cells. And this character is one of them. He absolutely uses his foreknowledge to make gambling bets. He uses his foreknowledge to invest in companies once he has some cash that he knows are going to rise in value. And so I like that fact. He realizes that money's power, and as somebody whose family struggles in the story, he wants them to do better, and he tries to find ways and opportunities for each one of his family members to do well and to have an opportunity to do well if they wish to. And he tried to do not well for himself, but also for his friends, and by creating a guild and knowing all the tricks. And so there is your regular MMO adventuring stuff where he's doing quests, doing crafting, exploring the world, taking advantage of little tricks and rare instances, and just like these things from an MMO. But in addition to that, he's also doing guild building and guild management, and he knows who the bad players are and exactly kind of how they're going to make alliances in the future. And he's taking advantage of the opportunity now, at that point in the story, the early part where he can make a difference as a small guild. So there's all kinds of like nice, interesting social aspects there as well. And him getting a comeuppance on the people who are, bad in the story, the bad guilds, and so they're nice. And additionally, I enjoyed that there are actual consequences to him changing the timeline, and to him being able to transfer goals from the game to real life. A lot of times that's not really done well in some stories, and it's done well here. So a lot of good things to appreciate here, especially the main character's long-term planning for both his in-game guild and outside the guild. So good stuff there. So overall, I liked the storyline. I like the various antagonist opportunities between the major guilds that are even established in the beginning of the story versus his little startup team. And also the balance between real life events, in-game events, guild building, and some crafting. So all kinds of good stuff to enjoy. Had a great time with it overall. Again, it's not super long, but it's not super short either for a literature story. Again, 254 pages. That's a pretty decent nugget. I don't know that I would buy this right. The price is a little bit expensive for that, but it's a good Kindle Unlimited read, I gotta say. Overall, it's a great read that kept the pacing tight and entertaining. So for me, it gets a score of 8 out of 10. That's Eternal Dominion book number 1, Restart, with a score of 8 out of 10.